What's going on, everybody? It's ETAPRIME back here again. Today we're going to be checking out Forza Motorsports on the ROG Ally. Now, I've been really excited about this game, but I do have to admit, it's still a bit early. I'm not really impressed with the performance or the settings we have here with this new game, but I still wanted to show it off. And before we get started, I do want to mention that I'm on official AMD drivers. At the time of making this video, 23.93. I'm not using the ROG graphics driver from their website because it is a bit outdated. This does perform much better on these newer drivers. I just side-loaded the official. And I've been having a good time with Forza Motorsports on the ROG Ally, but unfortunately, even at the highest TDP, low settings, 720p, we can't get a steady 60 with this game just yet. Not sure if we ever will. But I want to show you a little bit of gameplay with the settings that I personally use, and then we'll kind of take it up to see how far we can go with it. I've got Afterburner up in the top left-hand corner, and you might notice we're only running at 30 FPS. This is kind of my sweet spot right here. I'm at an 18-watt TDP to try to save that battery. 1080p, no FSR, medium settings, locked at 30 FPS. Of course, it would be really nice to run this game at 60 FPS, but even in turbo mode plugged into the wall, we can't hit 60, 720p low settings. I was really hoping I'd be able to go into this like we do with Forza Horizon 5 and kind of jack those settings up, get over 60 FPS, but with this new engine and everything they got going on, it's a bit hard on this iGPU right now. So I've just switched over to turbo mode, 20 watts with a 25 watt boost. We're at low settings, 720p, FSR set to balance, and you can see we're averaging around 41 to 42 FPS with it. It does feel a lot smoother, especially with this FreeSync display in the ROG Ally. And even plugged into the wall, FSR set to performance, all low settings, 720p, it's nowhere near 60 FPS. And I gotta say, when FSR is set to performance, 720p, low settings, the game doesn't look great at all. Asphalt on Android looks better than this when it's set to those super low settings there. So personally, I do prefer playing this at 1080p, locked at 30, medium settings. Now, of course, we will see a bump in performance. When it comes to driver optimizations, game optimizations, we're going to get this game to run much better. It's still really early. I've got early access right now. I believe it launches in like 3 days at the time of this video going live. But I still want to show you the settings that I've been using for my 30 FPS 1080p medium setup. So remember, I do have the TDP set to a custom 18 watts, and it's 18 watts across the board. From the basic video section, dynamic render quality is set to medium. Dynamic optimizations is set to custom, and this will allow us to change all of the settings manually. Full screen, 1080p, no FSR. From advanced video, dynamic render quality, medium, performance target, 30 FPS, VSync, resolution scale set to auto, 2x filtering, ray tracing completely off, RTAO quality, auto, shadow quality, medium, cube map reflection quality, also set to medium, car model, car livery, windshield reflection, mirror quality, medium, track texture quality, medium, particle effects, medium, motion blur, I personally turn this to low or off, I'm not a huge fan of it, and lens flare quality set to high. And with all of those settings, with the ROG Ally set at 18 watts, we can get a pretty steady 30 FPS. Every once in a while, you'll get a dip down to around 28, but it still feels pretty decent. Really wish we could do 60 with it, and hopefully in the future we can. But seeing how far we're off, there might be some issues either with the drivers or just the game in general. So we'll have to see what happens. But if you were thinking about picking up Forza Motorsports for the ROG Ally, just keep in mind, it's not going to run at 60 on launch day. I will keep you updated, especially in my community section, if we get a big bump in performance once it's officially released. But that's going to wrap it up for this one. And like always, thanks for watching.